studies indicate that the percentage of Muslims who are sympathetic to radical Islamists and jihadists is not a mere fraction. It's not a mere fringe. There are actually a significant percentage of particularly young Muslims who do sympathize with jihadism and terrorism. So quoting from Pew Research, you can go and look this up for yourself if you would like to confirm it. Media Matters, talking to you. Pew Research poll from 2007, this is even 15 years ago, so I imagine it's gotten worse, found that 26% of young Muslims in America, this is just in America, believe that suicide bombings are justified. So think about, you meet a millennial Muslim, 1 out of every 4 thinks that suicide bombing is justified. That's not a fringe percentage of Muslims. That's not a big differentiation between your quote-unquote average Muslim and these radical jihadists. That's a significant ideological problem that exists in a significant minority of Muslims in America. In addition, this Pew Research poll found that these views among young Muslims about suicide bombers were fairly static for Muslims in other Western countries as well. 22% of young Muslims in Germany thought suicide bombings are justified, 29% of young Muslims in Spain, and 42% of young Muslims in France believe that suicide bombings are justified. 42%. So almost 1 out of every 2 young Muslims in France thinks suicide bombings are justified. So this is starting to make a little more sense why we are facing what we're facing with these protests, these pro-Hamas protests that kind of caught us all off guard, but maybe it shouldn't have caught us off guard because this is a problem that has been building for quite some time. A 2015 poll from the polling company found that 19% of Muslim Americans, that's 2 out of every 10 Muslims in America, say that violence is justified in order to make Sharia law the law of the land in the United States. So think of 2 out of every 10 Muslims thinks it's okay to be violent towards you to make you adhere to Sharia law. Are we supposed to believe that this is a tiny fringe of Muslims, or is this a cultural, religiously ideological difference between the Muslim population and a country like ours that embraces Judeo-Christian values? Again, doesn't mean that you can't come here and go to the mosque, doesn't mean that you're not allowed to be Muslim in our country. You are, we have religious liberty. But to have an unrestricted number of people who have these beliefs come to our country, and then for our country not to make any effort to assimilate them into American values is going to cause a cultural divide, might be the tamest term that I can think of to describe it.